What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I'm here to bring you my next edition of my weekly Q&A show, Tell the People's Questions, episode 162. Before I begin with a really amazing set of questions, I would just like to thank you guys for making this episode certainly a lot bigger than last week's episode with a very interesting and very diverse set of questions ranging from video games to movies. So, jumping right into them, with the first two questions coming from a regular of mine going by the name of Oscar Navarro, which I haven't seen you in a while, so welcome back to People's Questions. And you want to know, will I ever do a giveaway for a PlayStation 4 Lite game or PlayStation Network? Well, Oscar, if you actually go back and watch my People's Questions episodes, I want to say maybe 3 to maybe somewhere in the 80s or 90s, all I did for a good year and a half is give away tons of PlayStation Network and Xbox cards. I mean, that's kind of what it was. Yeah, surprisingly, after even like almost maybe 2 years, I still have all the cards I gave away. There's like, I've given away hundreds of dollars worth of PlayStation Network and Xbox money. Should I go back to that? I don't know, maybe if people want me to start doing that again, maybe, because I think the grand prize I gave away something big, and it was like a pretty big prize. So, yeah, I've done it in the past, and maybe if I get enough subscribers and enough people want me to start giving away stuff, then I'll do it. The next question is, what is my PlayStation Network gamer tag for my PlayStation 4? It's the same it was for my PlayStation 3. It's BrianJF1990. I mean, it's in the description. I mean, any way anyone wants to contact me, all my information is in the description of all my videos. So, yeah, the information is right there. Next two questions coming from another regular of mine going by the name of ToQuilcoman91, and you want to know, what are my thoughts on Nicolas Cage being cast from the Metal Gear Solid reboot for the new Snake? Okay, this is obviously an April Fool's joke. I really doubt with Nicolas Cage's reputation they want him coming anywhere near Metal Gear. So, no, it's an April Fool's joke and it's not going to happen. And I don't even think they should even make a Metal Gear Solid movie at all. Person like this, if they really are serious about making a Metal Gear Solid movie, then I'm not trusting it unless David Hayter and Hideo Kojima give the fans the approval. Because those are the only two guys I trust with that property in terms of wanting to make a film for it. Next question is, how did I get the job that I have now? I filled out an application, I got called in, I did an interview, and 48 hours later I was hired, and I've been at my job for about 6 months now, so pretty much the same story as I guess anyone that gets a job, really. Next 4 questions are coming from the Oldie Boy 123, and you want to know, seeing the bows in the background of the last video, am I a fan of archery? Yeah, I think it's one of those, hobbies I have that kind of helps me relax whenever I get a little bit too aggressive. And since I can't shoot people, I guess shooting targets is a fun exercise. Next question is, do I think they will produce another Injustice game? There's definitely a possibility. Now that NetherRealm has released the second Mortal Kombat game from its studios, it's fair to believe that they could do another Injustice game. I know that there's enough material in the comic books, because it does have its own comic book series, that they could continue this story, and there's definitely a lot more heroes and villains they could add, so I'm not sure if they will, but I would certainly welcome another installment, and I would not be surprised if they were going to do another Injustice. Next question is, do I actively read any comic book series? Not really at the moment. I'm really quite busy with just a lot of projects with the channel and things at work, so I really don't have time to kind of sit down and just read comic books. And with the games I am currently trying to review, it's taking quite a lot of my time, so at this moment, no. Your next question is, what are my thoughts on the casting choice for the DC movie lineup casting decisions, with them being bigger budget series, much more well-known actors? Personally at this point, I have such little faith in Warner Brothers and what they want to do with the DC Cinematic Universe that I don't really care who they cast. I'm already really not looking very excited for Batman vs. Superman. I think it's going to bomb. I don't think it's going to bomb. I just don't think it's going to be a very good film. Because if everything I've heard about it is true, then this is just not going to be something I'm interested in. They are going to change it in such a way that it's going to, for me, it's going to feel like a big step backwards. And they are so pushing it to be so much like Marvel. They are pretty much letting Marvel direct the DC universe, and they're not even realizing it. The next set of questions come from Corey Roloff. I hope I said that right. And you want to know, what is my worst Metal Gear Solid fight? Now, I actually thought about this for a couple of days. I can't really think of any fights in general that were bad. All boss fights in Metal Gear Solid, they're either pretty straightforward, they're creative, or they're just geniusly well developed. If there were any that were bad, they probably would have been in probably the first Metal Gear games. But once you get to the Metal Gear Solid games, I can't think of any boss fights I thought were bad. They were all pretty straightforward and enjoyable. So, yeah, I can't really think of any. Your next question is, in my opinion, who is the worst Metal Gear Solid character? This is another character where I can't really think of too many negativity things about the Metal Gear Solid series. It's a pretty solid franchise, and it's very well developed, it's very well constructed, and it's very well written. In terms of characters I don't like, yeah, I mean, even the villains are if anything, the only problem I have with some of the characters is that there's some characters which we're not really given a whole lot of time to really get to understand their character unless you do some background research on them. But yeah, this is another thing. I can't really think of any characters I don't like. I mean, some would say, if I could throw one out, it would be probably Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2, but, they fixed him with Metal Gear Solid 4 and Rising, and I'm sure Rising 2, so I guess Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2, I guess, would be the closest, I would say. Next question is, have I played any of the Yakuza games and that have appeared on PlayStation 2 and 3? No. I'm not really a big fan of Yakuza. I'm all big for the whole gangster-like story games, but this just not really into the Yakuza. I'm more of a Mafia type of guy, which I'm curious if they'll make another Mafia game. And let's see, I think this might be the last question of the episode. Yes, it is. And you want to know, which of these franchises do I prefer? Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, or Jak and Daxter? Hands down, Ratchet & Clank. Ratchet & Clank was the very, very first game that I ever played on the PlayStation 2. And as it stands right now, I think it is my most anticipated movie of 2015, and I'm not even sure if they have a release date. I think it's going to come out somewhere in the summer, and I want that to be an amazing success, because then that will give people a sign that if you want to do a video game movie, or a video game based on a movie, this is how you do it. Stop it with this live action shit, just focus on making it CG movies. I'm fine with that. Heck, I would be happy with a CG Mortal Kombat movie, a CG Metal Gear Solid movie. No need to do it in live action. Just do it CG. I can accept it. In fact, many of the best cinematic stories are done in CG, and they're much better than most movies that I see every year. And with that, those are all the questions that you guys sent for this particular episode. I'd like to thank you guys for making this episode exceptionally special and much longer than last week's. If you guys have any questions that you would like me to answer for next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure that you get them into me before next Wednesday, before I start filming this. And like always, if you like this video, feel free to like, comment down below. And I just said that already, and I'm getting confused. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.